Hey guys, Tomboy601, and I gotta admit something. I was wrong. On last Friday's Azur Lane tier video, I kind of went on about how I wish there was a world where Azur Lane rune was useful, was something, that there was something there. And a Trash Panda 3108 commented on the video saying, pretty much, try it on one of the Super Sonar destroyers. And lo and behold, folks, we have one such destroyer on loan that we need to cover. So, without further ado, I present to you the all-new Tier 7 German destroyer Schonberg with Azur Lane rune as the build. Now, first, let's go and talk about the rune build. Basically, we're all in on Sonar. With her build, we're getting added sonar duration, we're getting reduced damage. When the sonar is active, we're getting an extra charge and a faster recharge. So we've kind of built around the sonar, and Schonberg has an excellent sonar. 5.6 kilometer ship detectability range. Compare that to Z23's 4.3 kilometer. And I guess we should just go ahead and cover the ship now because it'll make more sense. Schonberg is pretty much just a better Tier 7 German destroyer that is premium. It's an interesting strategy. I'm here for it. In the first console slot, you have the damage control party, and then you have the option between a smoke or a main battery reload booster, which is what we're going to use right here against this Paolo Emilio. We switch over to the AP because Paolo has that excellent big ol' thick armor plate on its side, and you can see where you're just getting beautiful full pens out of Paolo there. Once the angle's in, we'll switch over to the HE, and well, we are chunking him for a pretty good amount. That main battery reload booster does just incredibly well with helping you hunt down these destroyers. It gives you a great boost of damage when you know you need it, and when you pair that with sonar and the other destroyers within close range, you know they're not really going to get away, which is kind of what we're seeing right here. The main guns that you have are 150 millimeter German guns, so you get excellent pen with the quarter pen in the HE, which is what we're seeing here. HE damage is 2200, and with our build we have a 13% chance of fire with these things. AP 3800 damage, so pretty good, and a base 4.2 second reload, though you saw how quickly we can get it down when using that main battery reload booster. Other little fun bits with Schonberg, we have a engine boost, an 8% engine boost, and then that sonar, which is very, very powerful. And this is sort of one of those things that I feel like Wargaming releases from time to time, is just a better German destroyer that is premium. I'm thinking like Z35, where I don't see the downside really to using this ship. I think we technically have a lower DPM stock, but you kind of make up for that with the main battery reload booster if you choose to run the main battery reload booster. You could also be running smoke if you want to do that, but my attitude is if you're gonna offer me a main battery reload booster and the DPMs are gonna be so close compared to the base, I might as well use the main battery reload booster and make this somewhat interesting. Of course, you do also have the torpedoes here. 90-second reload on them. They can do 13,700 damage, 8.5 kilometer range, 58 knot top speed, and a 58 knot top speed. So overall, fairly decent standard German torpedoes. And really, that just means that this is it feels like your standard German. It feels and plays like your standard German destroyer, which is nice. Like, they are a very, very powerful class for a reason. And that is because of just what they are able to do, how they are incredibly effective. And we saw even with this update where I believe it was the Z39, the legendary, got a nerf because it is a very potent combo. Now, you could build this out to have stealth sonar. We will see if they maintain that. I think that's going to be one of the interesting things, because of course this is one of those ships in testing right now that we don't 100% really know what the final state of it is going to be, but I think it's going to be popular among players just because it feels just like an incremental power creep upgrade that Wargaming is going to go and go ahead and end up selling us. So Atlantico's pushing in. We go ahead and fire our AHE. We get a fire with that beautiful 13% chance of fire. And I haven't really been paying attention to our team, and that's kind of on me, because I naively, I will be honest, I will naively say at this point, I thought we hit and killed the destroyer that came over from our side. But as we're going to see shortly, we actually did not kill the destroyer that is playing our side. Speaking of which, look at how deep the enemy destroyer that is spotted right now is, up at the top of the map. Wild placement from people here as we get 3 torpedo hits on the Atlantico. And then I notice those torpedoes, and that's when I'm like, oh crap, we definitely just let another destroyer off onto our flank and just did not realize it this entire time, and have kind of been leaving our battleships out to dry. I just thought they died via some other battleships, but hey, I guess that's on me for not watching the kill cam, and we now need to go hunting for this other destroyer that we know is out there, as we are kind of down in the ships department, and it's not looking good, because if you notice, it's me out on this flank and the entire rest of my team squeezed into one grid square over on the other, which it will kind of work out because of how they are sheltered and because of the rest of the enemy positions. This black hole of death has formed to the point where it's going to make it so that if they get spotted, everyone's just going to shoot the one ship that comes around the corner and like murder them. But it's probably not the best strategy. Anyways, we spot the Z-23. We pop our sonar. The reason we pop our sonar, twofold. One, we want to take the damage. We want to get the damage reduction. Rune has an ability so that when you have your sonar up, you're going to receive up to 10% less damage, which is great and it's really fun. And when I was thinking through it, if you are taking fire from like a battleship, you are going to receive, I need to do the math, I think it's like 9%? 9%? So a 91% damage reduction with this, because of course, most large caliber AP shells that battleships are going to shoot at you are only going to do 10%. That's the overpen damage. Well, on top of that, you're then going to apply another 10%. So you get a 91% damage reduction on AP shells that are fired at you if they overpen. Like, it's weird and funny. Anyways, Z-23 pops up again. We have the sonar active. One of Rune's other abilities is it spots torpedoes at a ridiculous distance away as well. So we have plenty of time to kind of cruise on in and make sure we don't hit any of those torpedoes. And then we can swing back. And, you know, our team is going to start assisting us with the Z-23 here, as, you know, the black hole of death only has so many things it can fire at. And when something is able to be fired at, they are more than happy to lend their hand. I am a little concerned at this point because our sonar is about to run out and he's stopping, but, you know, we just kind of have to do what we can and try to knock him out. Unfortunately, we don't get the kill there, but we've now pretty much evened up the match, and we still have 2 caps, and we're doing pretty good. But this is sort of the Schonberg, right? It shouldn't be anything surprising to anyone. It is kind of very bog standard German destroyer gameplay, which is why I think this is going to be a very solid ship, just because it may be a bit boring, but it'll just be a solid all-around one that I think you're going to like see out in ranked, because the utility of that longer range sonar, of if you want smoke, or that main battery reload booster, is very, very useful. Borodino goes down, leaving us with just 2 more ships on the enemy team. As far as my plan for the rest of this match, well, we're going to head south and try to, I'm not going to say set up a crossfire, because crossfire, I guess, isn't really going to be the word, but the way that the A flag has this concave or convex shape, we want to be able to provide spotting for what is on the inside of it. That way our team can position to it. Also, the entrance of those 2 islands provide a great place for us to shoot torpedoes down, because it limits the area that the enemy ships are able to maneuver. So knowing that if we can push over, we can either A, get some consistent or get some decent spotting going on, and also reduce the area that the enemy is able to maneuver to avoid our torpedoes, because at this point we only have 10,000 health. We know that they have an anchorage, they have a battleship. We may or may not be able to do a decent amount of damage, but given the lack of cover in this area, open water gunboating probably won't be the #1 thing on our list, even though we do have our final main battery reload booster popping up. Anchorage shows up over here. Kind of throw one set of wide torps just as a distraction. He's going to end up turning in, which is okay. We'll go ahead and lay torps on his current location, and I'm like, oh, is he turning in? This may be time to use that AP, because of course German AP, it sings, baby. And that's what we're going to do. Pop that main battery reload booster. The other thing that this does is, you know, Anchorage was definitely probably going to be concentrating on our final battleship. This makes it so that he wants to kind of come after us. And if he does that, it goes well for us as our torpedoes come in and catch him with the last one. Flander is there. And at this point, I'm like, okay, we got a Jaeger and we got another battleship. At this point, let's go ahead and try to set some fires on the Flander. That 13% fire chance is just so potent on this ship. We've consistently been able to get some good fires going that you normally, I don't feel like the German destroyers are usually the sort of fire setting boats, but the high fire chance is definitely a blessing on this ship, as we are able to just get some decent damage over time. We can see his DCP came on cooldown, and within a couple of salvos we were able to get another fire started. We're going to start aiming up towards the bow now, try to get a second fire started. We don't know if he's running fight fire with fire, where it will extinguish once he gets to 3, but if we can get a second fire started, as our teammate ends up getting the second fire started there, which is perfectly fine, we can go ahead, slow down, start taking the cap, because he's not in the cap. We let a set of torpedoes go just in case he's on that line where he's going to end up kind of stopping with the help of the island there, as we pick up high caliber. He goes back behind, and at this point I'm like, okay, well, we can try and circle around and assist and try to get a little more points on this Flander, because there's pretty much nothing else in this game to go over. So that's the K. Schonberg. Like I said, it's a rental ship. They didn't keep it up for very long, but I am interested in it. I think it is very powerful. It could probably deserve to be tuned back a little if they wanted to make it more in line with the rest of the ships in like tier 7. It could probably move up to tier 8 with very little issue, but I think it'll be a very powerful ship. People are going to enjoy it, and I look forward to whenever it comes into the full game. But with all of that said, as we finish gunning down this Flanders here and his secondary start going off after us, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this little different rune build on Schonberg? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys like videos like this, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.